Hey, welcome to the lesson. We'll take a look at this acoustic Fluffhead solo here that just happened recently, or at least at the time of this recording. It was like a month ago or so, and it's a really great lead. Thanks for the suggestion from Jeff on Patreon. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to talk through how the solo goes here and do it really slowly, but then just try to maybe consider as we go through these different spots that he plays out of the larger chord form that some of the notes are coming from. So starting with the solo, we're up here on the 15th fret of high E, and we do this little thing that goes. So just in that first little lick there, what I mean by trying to connect it to the larger chord form is, and I guess you could think of this as a scalar thing as well, but I always kind of fall back on chord shapes. I think it's an easier way to kind of orient yourself on the fretboard. But I would think of this whole thing, it's G major pentatonic, but if you look at it, it's kind of the G shape form. Like if you were to play an open G here, but an octave higher, that's where a lot of the notes are coming from, or all the notes are coming from. Moving on from there, there's this little sliding lick that he does to kind of move down into a different zone. So using slides on one string over a couple strings is a good way to kind of move yourself down or up into a different area. Then, what I would say here is this next lick goes, so let me just do that again really slowly. Instead of it being like the G chord shape like we were doing up here, this is more coming from like the C shape. So now moving on after that, and that again is just in that same little zone, major pentatonic. Then it comes up here back up to this kind of like G chord shape and goes. So he kind of moved it all the way from up here in this original position we were in, and then kind of it cascades down as it goes. So as we come down here, we go. So now we've moved up a little higher. Now, we were in this form over here a moment ago. Now I would think of another kind of in-between, like an inversion that Trey uses a lot, is like this kind of shape. It's kind of a funky little shape, but it actually can be really cool for lead playing as well. Even though at first glance it might be kind of like, what on earth do you do with this thing? Because it doesn't look very comfortable, it's a little tough to play. But if you think of it again as like little points on a map, you can kind of map out these really fun little licks. Like if we're in the key of G and we're doing this inversion, you could do something like do 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 da do do da do do da do do da do da. I'm kind of looking ahead of what you can get out of this solo and take into your own playing. But for now, what Trey does is he's in this kind of area, but he's really just mostly up here for now. And he does this cool little pull-off thing. And this really kind of big bend, which is really tough to do on the acoustic, but he's definitely bending a lot. He's not holding back. Now moving on, we do a pre-bend down into the next lick. And then I'm going to do the next part kind of separately, but let me play that one more time from the pre-bend. Now it's interesting he puts in the minor third here. It's really, really cool. It just adds a little extra color there that wouldn't be there otherwise in just the major scale or the major pentatonic. Let me repeat this this higher lick here again. That's in this kind of G form. So that little part on the B string has a really particular rhythm to it. You know, stuff like that, you can either read the rhythm on the staff in the PDF that I made for this, or you can just do it by ear and just kind of memorize the rhythm of it and just try to emulate what he's doing. So. And then we're right back to this kind of higher lick. Now that one's worth looking at a couple times because it's just awesome. He kind of weaves back and forth, going up and down with the G major scale, or pentatonic. Now moving on from there, after we hit the 10th fret of the A string, we go. Which is really similar to a couple of the licks we've already done. So I'm going to go to the next part, which is really cool. It has this pre-bend and then this really fast picking that Trey does. So it goes. And then we're in kind of the home stretch where we're back up to where we started in this G chord position. Goes back to the chord progression. And that's the whole thing. So it's really largely G major and G major pentatonic based, but hopefully the point came across to try to connect it to a larger form, like a chord shape, because I find that that's easier to remember, but this is just me. You know, it's just kind of easy to remember where the notes are thinking of a chord form than like a scale pattern. So hopefully that helps. Thanks again to Jeff for the idea to do this one. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.